The lethargic slowness, often considered the hallmark of the zombie species, through the 60s to before 2000. This image is associated with the director George A. Romero, father of the classics, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. However, since 2002, been 28 days later, has set a new standard for the undead. Zombies are now faster, more aggressive. At the same time, the disease is also spreading at a faster rate. It's this innovation is the premise for countless modern post-apocalyptic worlds like more than 20 years since the first outbreak. 28 Days is finally back, with the third part called 28 Years Later. Promises to rein the wind at the theaters. The question is, after a long break, franchise tied to number 2, these 8 also have keep up with modern trends. Look around the market. We see that there's a lot of survival factors in movies. Lev porn movies. There is no shortage of family affection. School, the hospital, and the historical context are all there. Even funny zombie movies. Zombies that know how to love have also been brought to the screen. So in a saturated age, when the audience was so boring with the roaring zombies, Danny Boyle with Alex Garland. Can you find a special direction? Let's find out in today's video. Set 28 years after the pandemic. Rich water boom. You this time, placed in isolation, with the rest of humanity. On the northeast coast, there's an isolated community living on Lindisfarne Island. It is also known as Holy Land or Holy Island. During the day, when the tide is down, the people inside can walk up the shore looking for hunting resources. Night till the tide is up. Water will fill the path, protecting the island from the sick outside. It all started with Jamie's family, a good hunter, with his sick wife Ayla and their 12-year-old son Spike. At the time the story begins, Jamie's getting ready to escort Spike on his first expedition to land. It's part of the community ritual to prove that the boy has grown up. Learn how to fight like a man. Leave the safe zone. My father on the other side of the island is violent. Danger and death. Not yet at home. Mayla's disease day. One becomes heavy. Requires Spike to make reckless decisions. It's to find a crazy doctor named Kelson. I can't talk about 28 years without mentioning the weird part of it. When the first part came out in 2002, some of the audience was curious. Why saw director Danny Boyle make a movie again? Looks like the product of an amateur student. Use the Canon XL, a digital 28 days later. It was a low resolution back then. Image knows arbitrary layout. Cutscene cumulatively. Same contrast as challenging the viewer's eye, but it's the chaos that increases authenticity. It feels like a post-apocalyptic story. Go to the third movie. Johnny Boyle continues to stick with his philosophy. Filmed entirely with an iPhone. It's a $75 million movie, but it's much nicer. It still retains its roughness, with angles that don't look like AI. The cross-cutting quick facial and chaotic action sequences. You've all seen the behind-the-scenes photo. When 20 iPhones used for bullet time scenes, zombies chase Jamie and Spike. Jenny Boyle joked that it's the people's way of doing it. Poor house. And throughout the movie, every effect is presented in house tree style. This is why if you feel uncomfortable watching, then that's completely understandable. But in return, I think the movie is fresh. Not like any work other zombies on the market. Talk about zombies. We all know these are rich people. Red eyes are always puking, bleeding and becoming out of control. After 28 years, the undead have also evolved into many forms. They even know how to hunt in packs. In particular, the film also introduces alpha species, the individuals who were pulled rich by VI make huge, and has unmatched power. Look general. The look of the zombies is impressive. Violent scenes are always kept to the maximum, the most blood, especially those alpha scenes that pull the victim's spine, used as a weapon. All in all, if you are a fan of 28 Days, not much to complain about. About Danny Boyle's simple but effective filmmaking. 28 years after the fall of Britain, your doomsday world is still in chaos. Charming and especially close. The action scenes are tense. New variants also make battle with the infected become more attractive. To 28 years later, they're getting mixed opinions. Aim for the story. The reason is because maybe the script did not follow the pattern of a bomb. Tons of survival action. Just by looking at the whole thing, Alex Garland did a great job. He's one of Hollywood's top writers. You know how to get the audience. You can never predict what will happen next. At first I thought, the story will focus on the father-son relationship, Spike and Jamie, when you both go hunting. But it ended the first time. Spike discovered a secret with his father, and the whole second act, take the story in a different direction. And then at the end, a revelation. It's also important to get involved with infected people, again changing the perception of Spike. The maturity of the 12-year-old boy does not go according to the motif, learn how to fight and protect your loved ones. Instead, the film boldly pushes the message further. Give us a bird's eye view about the children born and raised in the age of. In the dark, it's no surprise. Because if we've seen the Ex Machina, Annihilation, Hey Never Let Me Go, I see Alex Garland, always good at incorporating religious elements, philosophy in his works. He often asks questions about the nature of human beings, of life, deaths, and destruction. From the background of the masks, it's all about historical connections. Honda, land of sprites, where communities of sprites lived in medieval times. It used to be called the heart of religion, of the kingdom of Northumbria, and also here recurred the invasion, the first Viking tomb on British soil. In 793, a massacre rocked medieval society. It was no accident then. In the middle of the movie, we've also seen a Danish army. Even one of them. I joke about being a Viking. These war metaphors are very heavily embedded, from Jamie and Spy using the band era. The movie scenes. It's taken from King Henry V, 1944 by Laurence Olivier. The most obvious is the Boots poem, 1903 by Rudyard Kipling. It's called Sound Jack, describing the sound of lifeless footsteps of British soldiers in the African colonies. That's just one of the examples of how Alex Collins connected the war between ordinary people and people infected with countless other wars. That's always been a part of history. Just go online and search for discussions. You'll see there must be hundreds. Details associated with religious history is above, dissected by the fans. That's Alex Collins' genius. A writer always asks the viewer to think for himself. Hunting for infected people. It's no different than the massacre in history. Jamie and the community of survivors. It's no different than being infected, and in the end, it's an eternal story. It's always people killing people. Spike. We're constantly seeing our moral values crumble, in a world where kindness is scarce. They teach you that you're a hero. A proud brother holding a bow to defend his homeland. Like the soldiers of King Henry V. Against the military. But the more you go, the more Spike realized it wasn't all that simple. I especially like the Dr. Kelson scene, teach the boy about death. This section may not reveal more, to avoid ruining your experience. But for a simple description, it's incredibly sad and emotional. Dr. Kelson, as by Red Phoenix. He is also my favorite character in the movie. In an age where killing is necessary, then there's I awake enough to cry, to remember the dead. Or every single day, yawn bow and shoot someone's artery. It's become easier again. Let's experience it for ourselves outside the theater to draw conclusions. What Alex Collins wants to say. It's very close to the current world situation. But it's this message-heavy story. It caused some trouble 28 years later. In some recent works, especially from last year's Civil War, I have the feeling that Alex Collins is a little too much momentum and metaphor, but forget that the surface of the story itself, consistency, is needed first. Pretty weird. The first part is the most stressful part of the movie, and then the pace just kept slowing down, and it always sinks at the end. It's not just a problem. Zombies appear too few. That the Spike challenge has to go through. It's also getting easier. Action at the beginning, adventure in season 2, and kick into the emotional category at the end. There's something loose in the structure. Review of 28 years. Even knowing that the movie is planned for the sequel, I still have a feeling of loss. When the end is not enough. Until the credit runs, I still thought there's going to be another clash between Spike and the Alpha. All in all, 28 years later, it's still a quality work. This zombie brand, it always has a special charm. It's about how to build. And the Lang class message it sends. Maybe with the audience. I just want a zombie movie. Failure at the end will be a fatal minus. And objectively comment. Danny Boyle with Alex Collins. I owe the audience a great fight. But for fans of the brand, 21 Pilots, or people who like to see the works, requires reflection, then this is definitely a perfect choice. And that's how we all feel about. The latest blockbuster just came out in June. What about you guys? Are you satisfied with the brand's return? This zombie is not. Please leave a comment below so we can discuss. Comment. And now, hello and see you.